Welcome back. As we reported at the top of the hour, an official at the Rafah crossing between Egypt and Gaza says that the crossing will be open tomorrow for a limited number of wounded people to receive treatment. But whether that will happen is in doubt. We've seen no confirmation yet from the Egyptian side of the crossing or from Israel. Meanwhile, aid organizations are warning that the humanitarian crisis in Gaza has reached dire levels. Last night, the head of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees said that the need for a humanitarian ceasefire has become, quote, a matter of life and death for millions. His comments came after reports Sunday that Gaza residents stormed a UN warehouse that held aid supplies, primarily food, waiting to be distributed to displaced families. The World Food Programme's Gaza director said that the raid was a sign that people are growing desperate and losing hope. At a press conference earlier today, a spokesperson for the World Health Organization said that they have the resources to address the crisis. They just need more access.
We don't have enough. People in Gaza don't have enough. They're in a terrible situation right now, under siege with nearly all supply lines cut off. And whether they do have 5 or 6% of supplies, I think it doesn't matter. They need lots more. And we are in a position to supply this if we have the humanitarian access, if we have a humanitarian pause and can supply these things. Everything is possible, but we need the access.
I'm joined now by Steve Taravella. He's a senior spokesperson for the UN World Food Programme. So, Steve, we have obviously frustratingly little visibility into the situation in Gaza on the ground. Take us through what your colleagues are seeing there. Just how dire is the situation about food and water, basic necessities?
Sure, Garrett. And you're right to use the word dire, because when water and food run out, people become desperate. And right now, Gazans are desperate for food, and the UN World Food Programme is desperate to bring food in. Conditions seem to be working against us on that front this week. We have managed so far to bring only 14 trucks of food across that border into Gaza, which is a trickle of what's needed given the severe need and the hunger that people are experiencing in Gaza right now. We estimate that 40 to 50 trucks of food per day is what is needed to meet just the bare minimum nutritional needs of those who find themselves in these conditions. So 14 trucks of food over 3 weeks is not enough. The food that we're bringing in, by the way, is food that is designed not to need cooking or heating or refrigeration. We call it emergency food. It's canned beans, canned chickpeas, canned tuna, and the like, so that people can access it immediately.
We talk about it being dire now. How long before it becomes worse than dire? I mean, give me the status of your warehouses, of your people on the ground there.
Sure. It's no exaggeration to say this is becoming worse by the hour. This is a real humanitarian catastrophe any way you look at it. It takes far longer than people in Gaza can bear to get trucks in. And you mentioned staff. Yes, this takes a toll on aid workers as well. We have aid workers who are themselves affected by what's happening. They've lost their homes. Some are staying in UN shelters at warehouses. Yes, there were UN warehouses, as you reported, that were looted. This is what happens in moments of desperation. People are wondering if they're going to live, how long they're going to live. Will they see food again? This is as bad as it gets in the aid world.
We talked about access, the question of access from the World Health Organization spokesperson, that soundbite I played just before you came on. What would sufficient access look like to kind of meet even the minimum needs of the people you're trying to serve there? Is it simply more trucks of food? I mean, what do you think is possible? What's realistic given the conditions on the ground there?
At the moment, what's most needed, yes, I would say, is food through that Rafah border crossing into Gaza at a much higher, more sustainable rate than we're seeing now.
Can I stop you for a second? Do you have any better information than we do on the subject of Rafah, of whether or not that will actually be open tomorrow? This has become the most unhumorous version of Groundhog Day, where we talk about this possibility day after day.
Right. We have seen it open for short periods, and trucks have come through. What will happen tomorrow, I don't know. We have appealed and appealed and appealed again to the authorities who can make this happen to allow aid trucks in. And it's not just the trucks, Garrett. It's an environment where aid workers need to feel safe to deliver and distribute food, not just feel safe, but be safe. And those in need need to feel safe and be safe to come out and seek food. And right now, with missiles and other warfare happening, those safe conditions aren't in place. We need safe access for trucks, food, and people.
To that end, I know you lost contact with some of your team over the weekend when internet was cut. I mean, do you have a sense of if your people are safe and well and back in contact now?
We did lose access for about 36 hours and had to halt operations. We are back in touch with our staff. WFP has not lost any of its staff to the fighting. I wish we could say the same for the whole UN. UNRWA, our sister agency, has lost many aid workers. And yes.
Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say one of the things that, you asked what would be most necessary, and I mentioned food and the trucks. Fuel is another critical element to getting people into safe conditions again. And the absence of fuel affects agencies like WFP as well. Before the conflict started, we contracted with 23 bakeries in Gaza to provide fresh bread to people in need. Right now, 3 weeks later, only one of those 23 bakeries is able to operate and provide bread because of an absence of fuel or because of damage due to bombing. That's shocking, and that just shows how much our capacity has been affected by what's happening.
All right, Steve Taravella, so appreciate you shedding some light on this for us. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.